What's going on, everybody? So welcome back to Bodybuilding and Basics, episode number 2. So with the competition season coming to an end, the year coming to an end, today's topic has to do with your placings in bodybuilding. Nationals just wrapped up a couple weeks ago when we saw a lot of people place where they wanted to and a lot of people place nowhere near where they wanted to. So the topic of today's video is basically whether or not you can determine your success in bodybuilding based on your placings. I see a lot of people get very easily pushed off their path by an undesirable placing or a placing that they weren't aiming for, which is understandable as a competitor. But you have to remember that the thing about bodybuilding that makes it very unique, strange, whatever you want to call it, and this is where you can argue whether or not it's a sport or a pageant, right, is there's nothing else out there like it. If it is a sport, it's not like I grew up playing hockey, right? If we score more goals than the other team, we win the game. It doesn't matter how it happened, right? Whatever that scoreboard says at the end of the game, that's the final, that's the winner. It doesn't matter. Whoever put the puck in the net more times than the other team is going to win. With bodybuilding, be it a subjective sport, placings aren't definitive. Right? So you could take the same group of athletes on stage on the same exact day at the same exact time, swap out that panel of 5, 7, 9, whatever it is, judges for a different panel, and the placings could be completely different, which is a fucked up concept to grasp. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because bodybuilding and your success in bodybuilding should never be determined on where you place. I've seen countless times people improve their physique drastically and place worse the following year, and even worse maybe the year after that. It all depends on the level of competition that shows up. It all depends on the people judging that specific show. There are so many other factors and criteria that go into determining someone's placing on stage that given day that can really affect where you end up. So a lot of times people will put a lot of pressure on themselves to say, I need to finish an XYZ spot, or if I was 4th last year, I better be top 2 this year, or I better win this year. And a lot of times that's just not how it happens. Now, it's good to have goals and to strive for those things. But the reason I wanted to make this video is because I see so many great bodybuilders throw in the fucking towel and start to give up because their placings don't necessarily improve year after year. And at the end of the day, those judges sitting at that panel, who are they to tell you how good of a bodybuilder you actually are? I know that they make the final say, right? But at the end of the day, this ties back to the last video I made about doing this because you love it. If you're doing this because you love it and you're bringing a better physique every time you come to stage, that's where your success really lies. Eventually, it's going to be inevitable that your placings will improve. It's not going to be linear, but they will improve over time as you continue to bring a better version of yourself. Obviously, the better you get as a bodybuilder, now your level of competition increases. You go from the local level to regional, national level to the pro level, whatever it may be. You might be improving, but your placings might continue to get worse. For example, myself, I just turned pro this year. I've won a few bodybuilding shows before. I might never win another bodybuilding show in the rest of my career, but I'm going to be continuing to get better, right? So technically my placings will be getting worse, but I'm going to be the best bodybuilder I've been next year and the year after that. So a lot of times people will get really caught up, and it has to do sometimes with social media and the pressure and things like that, but maybe the hype that people will build behind certain people. But putting too much pressure on yourself to place in a certain spot at a bodybuilding show is a recipe for disaster, and is really just setting you up for failure, because there's so many variables that are just out of your control. Even if you show up that day and you're clearly the best bodybuilder there, everyone in the room might believe it. But those 5, 7, or 9 people sitting at that panel might be the only people in the room that don't. And unfortunately, they're the only opinions that actually matter on that day. So it's a really weird element of this sport, and yes, there is criteria that they follow, whether it's muscularity, symmetry, conditioning, things like that, but they score that based off their opinion and what they see and their preference and what they like. Now, judges try to be as non-biased as possible, but there's an element of humanity to it where you're going to favor your preference. And to some people, your physique might not be that judge's preference, but on another day, it might be the next judge's preference. So I know this is long-winded, but the whole purpose of this video is to really get through to people coming up in bodybuilding, even guys at the national level now. Even I have some friends at the pro level who struggle with this. If your placings are not improving, or if you're not happy with your placings, that doesn't mean you're failing as a bodybuilder. Your success in bodybuilding should be determined by your personal improvement. And if you continue to improve over time, then eventually it is inevitable that your placings will as well. You might have a couple bad shows, you might have a couple shitty calls, you might run into a couple freaks that knock you back a couple spots here and there, but if you're gonna be a good bodybuilder eventually, and you're gonna be a good pro, and you're gonna be a high-level athlete, it's going to happen no matter what. It's not a matter of if, it's just when. And I wanted to make this video because I see so many times, especially coming out of nationals, and a lot of people are upset with where they placed, be it the biggest show of the year. I see so many great bodybuilders want to give up because they feel hopeless and defeated, because maybe they placed in the second or third call out when they wanted to win the show, or maybe they didn't even make top 5 when they thought they were going to win the whole thing, or whatever it is. And this is to you guys out there. I respect the judges, I do, but they're just human beings with an opinion, and that's their job, is to state their opinion on that day. But as long as you're better than you were the last time you were on stage, then the year was a success. Then you are experiencing success. And your placings will reflect a little bit of technical difficulties. My camera died on me, but as I was saying, as long as you are finding a way to be better every time you come to stage, then that is success in bodybuilding. And eventually, it's an inevitability that your placings will reflect that. Don't pack it in. Don't give up just because you had a couple undesirable placings. Use it as fuel, whatever kind of cheesy motivational thing you got to do to fire yourself up to get back to work. But don't start convincing yourself that you suck. Like I said in my last video, at the end of the day, if you love bodybuilding and you enjoy this whole process and you're finding ways to improve, that's all success right there. Nobody really cares about these trophies. They're just plastic pieces of garbage. No, everyone will shout you out and celebrate you for a day, but the second you go to sleep and you wake up the next morning, everyone forgot about you. Bodybuilding and bodybuilding fans are so nearsighted, and it's all about what have you done for me lately. And the second that competition ends, they're on to the next guy. They don't care about you anymore. That's for the wins, but the same goes with the losses. They're not going to remember the times you lose. People don't talk about all of Ronnie Coleman's losses and all the great bodybuilders of all time. They don't talk about their losses coming up. They don't talk about what they went through to turn pro. If you name the top 10 at the Olympia, can you tell me where each of them turned pro? Can you tell me some of their biggest losses? No, but you could probably tell me some of their biggest wins, right? So the placings don't matter. If you're going to be great at this, you will be great at it eventually. You might get kicked in the teeth a couple times, you might get fucked over, but just keep going. Your success in bodybuilding is not determined by your placings in this sport. It's determined by your own personal improvement. And like I said in the last video, the ability to still enjoy this. If you're enjoying this process, if you still love bodybuilding and you're getting better every fucking year, then you're successful, right? That's the name of the game. That's real bodybuilding. I have the most respect, honestly, for a lot of the guys that never turn pro, but they grind it out 5, 10, 15, 20 years of work. You can tell they're just in the trenches and they love this shit, doing everything they can to get better, and you see their physique improve year after year after year. And they might not win. They might end up in third, fourth, second call out, third call out. They might not win, but they're putting on 10 pounds here, 5 pounds there, 15 pounds there. Their 10-year transformation is crazy. I got the utmost respect in the world for those guys. That's real bodybuilding to me, and that's real success. A lot of these judges, like I said, I got all the respect in the world for them. So a lot of them haven't even competed before. They don't really know what we go through as athletes. They're just up there looking at us and judging us, as they should, right? But it's just their opinion. There's a couple people off the top of my head. Being at Nationals the other weekend, I was there firsthand, and there were some calls made that everyone else in the room didn't necessarily agree with, but clearly the judges did. And for the most part, it was a fairly judged show, but there were a couple, and you hate to see that athlete have to go through that, but I don't know, it's just part of the game. You got to learn how to take that on the chin and not let it beat you up. And just understand that whatever they say on that given day isn't the end-all be-all. You have another chance. There's always going to be another show. There's always going to be another opportunity to prove that those judges fucked up last time. And I've been through it. I've had some real controversial calls in my career, and I was fucking pissed when they happened, but I used it as like I said, kind of cheesy motivation to be, I'm going to be so undeniably good next time that even if they don't like my physique, they can't not pick me as the winner because it'd be too egregious. And that's the mindset and mentality you want to take on after going through a tough loss, right? Obviously, there's always more work to be done, but just don't get so caught up. And especially this also a message to my younger guys coming up too that are just getting started, that like looking at social media, and social media is just the highlight reel of everybody and all the first places and all the fucking flashy shit. Do not go into this sport thinking you're going to win every show that you do. Do not have that expectation. Do not worry about your placings. Go in, try to get big, try to get peeled, try to have fun, and give it your fucking everything, and then let the cards fall where they may. And then after that show is done, go get better. And then do that for 10 years. Do not attribute your success in bodybuilding to where you place at these shows, because it is too fickle, inconsistent. It's not like any other sport. It's good to have goals, but don't let it be your end-all be-all. Okay? So that's my rant for today. That's Bodybuilding Basics episode number 2. I just wanted to touch on that because it popped in my head after seeing everything that happened at Nationals and the year being over and all the shows are wrapping up. And I apologize, I've been sick lately, so my voice is a little raspy and probably breathing like a fucking pig too. But I wanted to touch on this today because I see a lot of people, when some shitty calls happen to them, they get real pissed and they give the whole fuck bodybuilding thing, and you see them fall off. And I don't want to see that because there's a lot of good athletes out there that deserve to be going where they're going. And I don't want to see a one bad judge's call throw them off their path. So just remember that your success in bodybuilding is not based on your placings. The placings will come. Just focus on bringing a better physique every time you're up there, finding ways to improve every single year, just in the trenches bodybuilding, and then the placings will follow. I promise you. So I appreciate all the love. I got some good feedback from the last video, some of the comments. I have some more topics that will be coming out from that. But any other topics you guys want to hear me talk about or touch on, leave them in the comments below. If you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it goes a long way for me. All my sponsors, Condemned Labs, Jed North Crystals Bikinis, Pro Elite Peptide. Appreciate you guys a ton. Code Luke at all of those websites that will also be in the description below to support me. I appreciate you guys a lot for tuning into this. Like I said, it's just something I'm trying and give some information and my opinion on some different topics to try and help some people out. So if you like this kind of content, please let me know, because it makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time and talking to myself, because right now, sitting here in this room with this camera, I very much so feel like I'm just talking to myself. So I really do appreciate any feedback at all, positive, negative, somewhere in between. It helps me. So I'm still learning this game, still learning the whole YouTube thing, but I'm also continuing to take on clients. So if you guys are looking for a coach for next year's competition season, now's a great time to reach out. You can DM me on Instagram, or you can email me, which will also be in the description below. And once again, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.